Finding Dory coming this weekend, so before I cover my thoughts on that, I gotta cover what I think about the original Pixar film that was released in 2003, and oh god, just saying that makes me feel really old inside. But I loved it as a kid, and question is, do I love it as an adult? I don't know. We'll find that out right now. Okay, so Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo follows the story of a simple clownfish named Marlin, and after an incident that traumatized him and his overall views of the ocean, he becomes an overprotective father to his only son Nemo as he teaches him the overall dangers of what's out there. Then on Nemo's first day of school, he gets kidnapped by a group of scuba divers, which sends Marlin over the edge, and him being a father, of course, he fears the worst is gonna happen to his son. While meeting characters along the way and refacing the dangers of the ocean, Marlin must overcome his fear of the outside world to find the only family he has left in his life. Now, Finding Nemo is the 5th animation from Disney Pixar, and it was released to what most people refer to as the golden age of Pixar, and everybody knows what Pixar is. But at this point when this film was released, they were already a huge success with films like Toy Story 1 and 2, A Bug's Life, Monsters Inc., but this was the first time that Pixar would capture life under the sea. Like I mentioned before, I loved this film as a child, and now as an adult, I wanted to see if my views on the film would change overall, and not gonna lie to you guys, I was a bit scared going into it. But thankfully, that fear is gone, and to this day, I still adore Finding Nemo as an animation and a film overall. It's easily one of Pixar's masterpieces. First of which is the animation, because just like how I feared if the movie was still gonna be good to me, I feared for the same for the animation and it possibly being outdated. Although you can tell it's one of Pixar's earlier films when they show things like the humans and the realistic world that isn't Finding Nemo, but the animation to the ocean is jaw-droppingly gorgeous. The enormous amounts of detail from the coral reefs to the movements of the water, the light reflecting from the ocean, Pixar put their full-hearted effort to make sure the audience feels they are under the sea with these characters, and it's some of the best looking animation I've seen from Pixar. Which makes me believe that Pixar is best at capturing things that are unrelated to the realistic world. Besides films such as The Incredibles and Up, their comfort zone are areas in which we aren't used to seeing. It just makes me appreciate their style more, and looking at their filmography, they like to show range within what they bring on screen, and for the most part, the animation did not disappoint. Plus, this film was released in 2003, and technology is way superior than it was 13 years ago. Oh my god, I feel old. Finding Nemo is also the first Pixar movie to not be composed by Randy Newman. Instead, it was composed by his cousin Thomas Newman, and he created such a beautiful score. The way he captures the solemn and gentle tone and some of the heartfelt moments with a mix of adventurous and cheerful ended up being the perfect blend for an animation of this caliber, and some scores really feels like you're in the ocean with these characters. Because man, every time that piano theme comes on during the movie, I always get some tear escaping my eye because it just overall represents the theme of the film. And it just makes me wish that animations nowadays would have that same heart and emotion that Finding Nemo has, and that score, composed by Thomas Newman, really helps enhance that. Voice acting all across the board was amazing. You got Albert Brooks voicing Marlin, Ellen DeGeneres voicing Dory, and a list of others in which I'll mention very soon. And the chemistry between Marlin and Dory is some of the best chemistry I've seen in an animation, because like I mentioned on how this film would have its serious moments, but when these two are on screen, it totally shifts into it being a comedy. Because Dory is actually annoying characters like Marlin, and for me at least, she didn't annoy me one bit because I found her to be extremely hilarious. Especially when this movie later on reveals the heart and the backbone of her character, and it just makes me appreciate that Dory is a perfect blend of comedy and heart put together. She was just a great character overall. But one character that I believe doesn't get enough credit is the character Gil, voiced by William Dafoe, because everyone here is just like, oh, Dory's my favorite character, but granted, the sequel is named after her. However, I found Gil to be my favorite character in the entire film. Besides perfectly casting him, he had a very interesting backstory and was an element to the movie that represented growth for the character of Nemo. And that's pretty much what the film is trying to say for both the kids and the adults. For the kids, it's like, yeah, you have to grow up sometime and be on your own, no matter what the challenges are. And for the adults, it's like, you know when you'll have that time in which you'll let your child go and live their life. And I'm pretty much paraphrasing Crush right now, and he is totally awesome in the movie. I totally forgot about him. Now, all of these things put together makes Finding Nemo one of my favorite Pixar films, because Finding Nemo is absolutely legendary. Alright, we can stop with the old jokes now. They're getting kind of tiresome. So anyway guys, have you watched Finding Nemo, and what did you think about it? And what is your favorite Disney Pixar film? Surprisingly, Finding Nemo is not my favorite Disney Pixar film. I want to see if you guys can guess what mine is. Whatever it is, leave it down below. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all that social media shit down below. Keep in contact with me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And as always, may the force be with you. But seriously guys, if you can get that film right, I'll go into extreme detail about the movie and I'll review it. I'm serious.